Hey, welcome along to Top Shop Tech. I'm Jeremy Nees, and today I'm talking about Keep, a relatively new product and company in their AIOps and alert aggregation platform. So I've only just recently come across Keep. They talk about battling alert fatigue, and very much, what we were looking at is how we could manage alerts on scale. And in fact, we wanted to turn on more alerting, so we wanted to generate more and more alerts to get more telemetry data. But we wanted to do so without sort of blowing out our ITSM system or similar. So that's how we came across Keep. So Keep is, like I said, relatively new. They've just raised 2.7 million in their pre-seed round, so very early on in that regard, but hopefully enough cash for them to keep building some pretty cool features. Quick quote from the founder here, Tal: "We're not here to play it safe. We're doubling down on AI research and believe the platform will be a game changer for enterprises." Now, reason I'm recording this is I tend to agree that I think there's some real white space and opportunity in this area. If you wind back sort of 10 years, log aggregation is becoming a big topic, and we've seen Splunk and Elk really grow massively based around log aggregation, correlation, and all the operational stuff you can do around that. However, there's been a bit of a gap around alerts and alert-based architectures. Traditionally, a lot of ITOps platforms or network platforms have worked around log aggregation. In fact, security platforms, rewind back 5 years, we were all talking about SIEMs before we were talking about SOARs and security command centers. So, there's been a heavy focus on log aggregation, but as more and more platforms move towards SaaS, we're actually seeing more alert-based architectures where you don't get log streams out of the platform. You tend to get alerts out of the platform. So, there is, I think, a real opportunity here around how you can aggregate alerts and then sort of overlay, deduplicate, correlate alerts, etc. So very quickly, how does Keep function? 4 quick steps to get it up and running. You start by plugging in your alert sources. There's a number of pre-built integrations, but you can also use custom integrations. You'll see the likes of Datadog, and they're the likely suspects that you can connect into the platform, and you can build, I think, I'm not sure if I see this around custom integrations. Kicking forward, you then start collecting and querying those alerts using the Keep's Common Express language, and you can use that to then create a single pane of glass, so it ties into the dashboarding. Step 3, you can start to build workflows based around YAML, but with the UI to make that a bit easier. And then finally, and this is probably one of the most important pieces, is leveraging AIOps for alert correlation, but also being able to use that for alert reduction, noise reduction, which is key, especially if you're trying to get more alerting happening. And then probably the most important thing to me is around the automated root cause analysis. So one of the challenges we've seen with logging platforms and alerting platforms is when you start getting massive amounts of data, and people tend to start trying to tune that out. And sometimes what you're tuning out isn't the noise. Sometimes what you're tuning out is the signal. And you start to miss the fact that something's reoccurring far too regularly, and you haven't actually addressed the root cause. So being able to understand that, being able to then look at the number of repeat alerts and where there could be a root cause, and treat that cause, not the symptom. That to me is where the magic happens. So kicking forward, how do you buy Keep, or how do you use Keep? Well, Keep is actually an open source platform, and you can operate Keep yourself and with support. But there's also these nice SaaS options. The thing with the SaaS options that I really like is you can get up and running very quickly and at a relatively low cost, try out the platform and understand if it's going to benefit yourself. So just taking a quote actually that Shahir, and I hope I'm saying that right, posted only about an hour ago on his LinkedIn, comparing AIOps platforms B1 to B2. And we actually, when we found Keep, we were looking at a lot of the B1 platforms, and there'd been quite a lot of acquisition in the space, and there wasn't really anything left that we felt met our needs. So looking at this quote here, talking about AIOps 1, the summary is it's effective but limited to rigid rules and structured data. Now, this is actually very much the same thing as what we're seeing with security orchestration, automation, response platforms. The V1s of these were very much like RPA tools. So they had to bring in structured data, and when you got the structured data in, you had to follow quite rigid workflows, which often then, you ended up having to create lots of workflows or lots of complexity to your workflows, or literally that you just ended up not being able to use them because they weren't adaptive enough. So using natural language and taking IT data, contextual incident analysis, and I think that's really key. We're seeing a lot more focused around contextual data in these sort of platforms, and I think that's one of the things that AI is actually helping with, being able to bring in contextual data. You end up with human-like reasoning, and I think the key to that is it can be quite useful if you've got a support analyst and it's more focused on assisting them as opposed to locking them into a particular pathway. So my view is, a couple of key things here. We've seen a very similar trend in the security space, moving away from log-based architectures to alert-based architectures, or at least more of a combination of the two rather than being more exclusively log-based, but also the shift from static RPA-type platforms with structured data to natural data, and being able to use AI and often sort of agent-based assistant-type capability to guide more flexibly through a problem. So yeah, some cool stuff in there. Keeps moving pretty quickly. So they've only just raised their pre-seed round. We're seeing more and more features come out on an almost daily basis. You can jump on their LinkedIn page at Keep Alerting, and they're updating that fairly regularly, or go to keephq.dev. They also do have a Slack community, which can be quite cool if you're more interested in the open source and development of the product. But there's a couple of good sources to go get underway with. So yeah, in summary, I think, pretty cool platform, and we're certainly interested in watching how it can develop and trying it out in our business. So thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you next time.